how to round decimals correctly. First, start by writing down the decimal place value chart correctly. Or if you're using a computer or tablet where you can take a screenshot and then copy, paste, and print, make sure that you have a copy of this place value chart so that you can practice memorizing the place value chart correctly and you understand the place value chart. So you do need to start there. Place value is important. So first, let's take a look at the steps. Step 1, locate the place value to be rounded. Step 2, look at the digit to the right of the place value. If the digit is below 5, the digit in the place value stays the same. If the digit is higher, 5 or higher, the digit in the place value goes up 1 unit. And step 3, all digits after the place value drop off. So before we get to the examples we're going to work through using those 3 steps, I want to make sure that you all understand how our decimal place values look and how they correspond to fractional parts of a number. So this particular place value chart shows you, of course, the center of a decimal number will be the decimal point. To the right of the decimal point are our decimal place values, or we call this the fractional part of a number. So we have decimal point, and then we have to the right tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths, and 100,000ths. And it does continue to go on, millionths, and so on. To the left of the decimal point in a decimal number, you have your basic whole number place values. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, millions, and so on. Now, look at these quick examples that you see within the chart. You have 0.1, which is a decimal number, and this decimal number represents 1/10. 1/10. You have 0.01, which represents 1/100th. 0.00 is 1,000th, and then we see 1/10,000th and 100,000. And again, it goes on and on. So we will begin to round a few examples. So here's the first decimal number that we're going to round. And this decimal number is 749 10,000ths. 749 10,000ths. So here's what we're going to do. Let's place this decimal number within our place value chart and line up the decimal point correctly, like so. We have a 0 in front of the decimal point, and then after the decimal point we have 0.749. Now, if this decimal number were written without the 0 in front of the decimal point, it would mean the exact same thing. 749 10,000ths is the word name for this decimal number. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to locate the place value to be rounded. So that means that we look at the question, round to the nearest hundredth. So let's underline the digit that's in the hundredths. So we have the number 7 here. See, that lines up with the hundredths. Step number 2, look at the digit to the right of the place value. The digit to the right of the place value is a 4. We have 2 things to consider. If the digit is below 5, the digit in the place value stays the same. If the digit is 5 or higher, the digit in the place value goes up. So the digit to the right of our place value determines how we round our place value. Since the digit to the right of the 7 is a 4, that means our place value, which is the 7, right, the number in our place value, stays the same. So I'm going to put an S here, just representing that it's going to stay the same. So what does that mean? Well, for step 3, that means that all digits after the place value drop off. So this digit and this digit will drop off of the number, and our answer is 0.07. So let's just go back. We have 7 in the hundredths. The digit to the right is a 4. Since 4 is below 5, that means the 7 stays the same. But all digits after that drop off, which leaves us with 0.07. So we've rounded 749 10,000ths to 7 hundredths. And one thing to remember, when you're rounding to a particular place value, that should be the very last digit that you have in that place value, right? There shouldn't be, in this case, any digits after the hundredths place, because I'm rounding to the nearest hundredth. So let's go to our next example. Here's our decimal number that we're going to round. And this number reads 12 and 16,038 hundred thousandths. So let's look at what happens when we line up the decimal number into our chart. So we have 12 in front of the decimal point, and we have 16038 after the decimal point. 12 and 16,038 hundred thousandths is the word name for this decimal number. Now we're being asked to round to the nearest 10,000th. So we must locate that place value first. And in that place value is a 3. So again, we've now moved to step number 2. Look at the digit to the right of the place value. The digit to the right of our place value is an 8. Since this digit is 5 or higher, that means the digit in our place value rounds up. So we're going to round the 3 up 1 unit. Now, after the 10,000ths, none of those digits will remain, so that 8 will be dropped off. So let's write the final answer. We have 12.160, and remember the 3 must be rounded up to a 4. So our answer is 12 and 1,604 10,000ths. Now let's move to our next decimal number. $136 and 655 thousandths. So let's write that decimal number in our chart. 136 is in front of the decimal point. After the decimal point, we have 655. We are going to round to the nearest tenth. So we locate the digit in that place value, which is 6. Look to the digit to the right. The digit to the right is a 5. So that means in step number 2, if the digit is 5 or higher, we must round our place value up 1 unit. So the 6 must be rounded up to a 7. All of the digits after the tenths will drop off. So we'll write the answer as 136.7. So it's 136 and 7 tenths as our answer. Now let's move to the next example. We have 82 and 7,513 10,000ths. So let's write that in our chart. We have 82 in front of the decimal point. We have 7513 after the decimal point. And we're going to round to the nearest integer. Now, look over to our chart. We have a few quick notes that will help you understand how to convert what it means to round to the nearest integer with place value of a decimal. So you see at the bottom here, round to the nearest integer or dollar. Round to the nearest integer or dollar is the same as asking you to round to the ones. So technically we're asking you to round to the nearest ones. So we're going to locate our place value. We have our 1, so that's in front of the decimal point because that's a whole number place value. So the number 2 is in the ones place. We still look to the digit to the right of our place value. So in this case, the digit to the right is a 7. Since the digit to the right is 5 or more, it's a 7, that means we must round our place value up 1 unit. And remembering, all digits after that place value will fall off. So our answer, after rounding the 2 up to a 3, is 83. Now we're going to use the same number for the next question. And this time we're going to round this same decimal number to 2 decimal places. And this is a very common ask in a lot of the questions that you're going to have. Round to 2 decimal places. So over in our quick notes, when asked to round to 2 decimal places, that's another way of asking you to round to the nearest hundredth. To round to the nearest hundredth. So we need to locate our digit in that place value, the hundredths, and that is our 5. The digit to the right of the 5 is a 1. Since the digit to the right is below 5, that means the 5, our place value, will stay the same. Will stay the same. It does not round up. The digit to the right is a 1, which means the 5 stays the same. And all other digits after that will drop off. So we round our answer to 2 decimal places, means that we're rounding to 82.75. And that's 82 75 hundredths. And it makes sense when asked to round to 2 decimal places. Look at how many decimal places we have left in our answer. We have 2 after the decimal point. And again, that's the same as rounding to the nearest hundredth.